Oh, we're playing this again.
Anyways, Pokemon sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are so many better turn-based games, monster collecting, etc., etc. Please give them a go.
This made me want to play Spectrums again. I don't know why. Monster collecting game, I just immediately went...
Man, I wish Spectrobes had been made by literally anyone other than Disney.
Yep.
That was Disney? Wow.
Yeah, that was back... You don't remember when Disney had a games department and they were making handheld games and stuff?
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it was especially when they were turning their movies into games, but they had a whole game department that did stuff that would have logos at the starts of games that they made, like a specific Disney. It was obviously like, oh, it was a Disney property. It had a Disney logo, but it wasn't like just default Disney. It was like Disney Interactive
like Disney
Games
Interactive,
or whatever.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Disney Interactive, I think is what it was called, or Interactive Games. But the fact that it was Disney means there's pretty much a 0% chance it ever returns. If it was any other gaming company other than Disney that, like, still did video games to some extent, there would be a small sliver of hope that they would be like, what if we try and bring back this dead IP? Disney is never going to be like, what if we try and bring back a video game IP we started back in the day?
Yeah.
They're too busy, like, buying Marvel and Fox to care about stuff like that.
Yeah, they own, like, everything else.
Yeah, they don't care about video games anymore. They're never going to try and bring back that market. And if they did ever try and get back into the game market, they would buy another studio, not bring back their own stuff.
Yeah.
So Spectrobes is, like, very uniquely placed. And Spectrobes was, like, released during the early DS timeline, where right now it's at the perfect level of nostalgia, where, like, bringing it back would make a sensible business move. To try and catch people who played it when they were, like, 13, and now they're, like mid-20s to early 30s, and be like, yo, if we release this on, like, a new, like, not a handheld, but, like, if we tried and release a game on the Switch or the PlayStation or something, there's gonna be a nostalgia hold, and then people who have never heard of it who are like, this looks interesting. But because it's Disney, like, no Disney exec is gonna be looking at that and be like, we could try it. Yeah, also, like, Disney is never gonna try and sell the rights to it, either. Like, some other game company would have to be like, they would have to know what Spectrobes is, have a good enough position in whatever company they're a part of, to then ask Disney, are you willing to sell this? What? And then because it's Disney, Disney would be like, oh, you want this? We lose nothing from giving it to you, but we also gain nothing, so we're just gonna ask you for an amount of money you can't possibly afford. Because we're Disney.
Yep.
The first two Spectrobes games were pretty bad, but Origins was great.
Origins was good.
I got so lucky at the end of that race. Somehow the blue shell didn't recognize that I was in first place.
Crazy. I'm not sure. How much longer do we plan on playing?
You can leave whenever you want.
No. There's someone in my chat that was asking about joining. I was like, I would have to send them to your chat, but I'm like, are we about to wrap up, or is that still an option?
3 hours and 15 minutes? I mean, at this point, if no one feels like leaving, like, soon, we'll probably just go for the 4-hour mark and then wrap up.
Yeah, there's a chance. I'll put it in mind. If you want to play, you have to go over to Chaos's chat, and you can find the friend code over there.
Yeah, !/ Switch FC in my chat.
And he'll add you because he's running the room.
Is there anyone I need to add right now? I have so many. I'm gonna delete so many of these
have
friends after stream. Spectrobes was a game made by Disney because they wanted to break into the Pokemon market, basically, of, like, monster collecting stuff that they made for the Nintendo DS back in... I think it actually came out, like, right after Diamond and Pearl, which was not the time for it. They had 2 DS games that were both pretty lackluster, but has a very rabid fan base, and then they had a game on the Wii that was really good. Sad to be deleted. I don't like having, like, a bunch of stuff show up where it's like, look, there are so many notifications up here, like, you have 15 friends, and some of them, like, got this new game they're playing.
Yeah.
On PlayStation, I only have, like, 7 friends, too. One of them's Brandon. I don't even know why I'm friends with Brandon on PlayStation. I should probably just delete him, to be honest. I can't remember the last time I talked to Brandon other than in passing on Twitter to tell him happy birthday.
Gosh.
Verdict on DLC is good.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep. It's a great start. As long as they don't get, like, worse than this one, I will be very satisfied.
Very much.
I'd be surprised if they were like worse. Like there might be like a bad track here or there because like that's just odds are it's going to happen. But like I expect them all to be at least like there's some effort put into like making them.
I'm part of that villainous server, and there were some people in there talking about it, and I was a little bit worried, but also for a moment. But then I realized I had no reason to be worried. Because there were like a couple of people who were like bad-mouthing the DLC awfully, saying like, it looks like crap, it plays like crap, only like one of the courses is actually fun. But then they started getting really hyper in-depth about very specific things that made it bad, and I was like, you're looking way too deep into Mario Kart. Like,
yeah, I don't even know, like, I mean, play's bad. These are all great.
Yeah,
like,
I don't really...
Wait, they're
yeah, I was like, you're
equal.
I was like, you're way too, you care too much. Like, about this
like
IP.
These are like equally playable, like as enjoyable to me as all of the default tracks.
Yeah, they feel like they fit right in alongside all the others.
Yeah, for the most part. I will, my only, probably, I'm gonna scream. Probably my only small complaint would be that the Toad Circuit map isn't bad, but like, they're basically releasing another Mario Kart, so I get why they did it, but also I'm like, it's DLC. Why do you have like a starter course in it?
Yeah, like Toad.
But it is also a DLC of 10 cups, so it makes sense. But at the same time, I'm like, what if we just got another like uniquer map? But it's not bad.
If they have a Toad Circuit in all of the waves of DLC,
that'll be a problem.
Like, all right, come on.
That'll be a problem. The third DLC, so the third DLC drops and they've got like a baby starter course. I'd be like, okay, no, this is. You made a mistake. I think we only played Tokyo Blur like once.
Are pretty good.
Once or twice.
Oh yeah. I was trying to think of which one of those I wanted to play again.
I think we only played Tokyo Blur once.
No, I think we actually played it twice, but
it
was a long time in between.
I am so super remember off the top of my head as much.
Playing Spectrobes on my channel somehow opened me up to all of the people who played Fossil Fighters at like the same age. I cannot tell you how many times I've had people show up and be like, love Fossil Fighters. You gonna play Fossil Fighters and whatnot? No one in chat just told me to play it or anything. They just mentioned Fossil Fighters and it gave me a brief bout of PTSD where I was like, listen, man, I don't want to play it because I don't have any nostalgia for it. I had nostalgia for Spectrobes, and in those first two playthroughs, I still called the games out as crap. And then played Origins, which I said was good. The last thing I want to do is for people to find my channel, think that I just specifically play some very retro games in general, but in actuality, I just played a lot of games in the mid-2000s that I wanted to do on the channel, and then they're like, please just play Fossil Fighters, and I play it, and then I think it's trash.
Yeah.
It's like a nightmare. It's like a nightmare scenario. I'm like, you don't understand. Unless it really, really was good, not just like mostly nostalgia. They're like, well, no, it is good. I promise it's good. And I'm like, are you sure? Because like, I think you're thinking I'll think it's good because I played Spectrobes, but I do not like the first two Spectrobe games. I only like the third one, which was vastly different gameplay-wise. Who threw a red shell backwards? Who are you?
No.
Okay, you know what? Actually, oh dang it, Michael.
Oh my God.
Did you throw the red shell backwards?
I did.
Okay, you're forgiven because a blue shell was coming at you and you were in first. It's the only reasonable scenario. In first, blue shell coming. Only reasonable scenario.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In first, you still just hold it for defense.
True.
I love how quiet you were when I first said the red shell thing, though, and then I drove past you getting hit by a blue shell, and I'm like, you're the only one. It could only have been you. Sly, forgive me.
No, why?
Lone Wolf, I don't need you to forgive me. I wanted you to suffer. Ah, no!
Instant comment.
Why did everyone in 4th to 8th get 3 red shells at the same time?
Dude, there's so many red shells.
Like, it equalizes out. It's a waste of time.
Oh, no, not more blue shells.
Yeah, it was actually me. It's the first one I've gotten today.
Wow.
No!
Let's
Literally,
go!
mushroom so I could wipe the ink off my face, and then I just got hit with.
Yeah,
both
I
at
was
the
in
same
the
time.
exact same thing happened to me.
Dude is so far ahead.
I'm being in 10th place and getting 3 mushrooms!
Why did
I-
those pass me at the finish line?
I cannot believe how far
That
ahead
was awful.
this
That
DK
awful.
was. That even dodging the lightning and getting 3 mushrooms, I couldn't even get close to catching
That
up.
was
Wow.
terrible. That was terrible. Absolutely awful. I would be willing to bet that Fossil Fighters is better than the first 2 Spectro games, but I would be shocked if they were better than Origins. I hate everything. It was the most mid game I ever played. Do you guys, is there and for me this word is not mid, but is there a word or phrase that people use when talking about like anything is like a turn of phrase that you just hate?
There probably is, but I won't remember it until I see it.
Until after
Yeah, I
stream.
don't remember.
Yeah.
I can tell you mine right now that I absolutely despise.
What would that be?
Anytime anyone is talking about any source of media and says, we're eating for real when it's good stuff is coming out. Whenever people talk about, like, whenever people say, like, oh, we was eating when those games were coming out or whatever, I'm like, shut up.
Really?
That sounds so stupid and disgusting. You were eating because good content was coming out? Like, you're an absolute... You sound
sounds
like
disgusting.
such a moron when you say it to me. I hate it.
There are a lot of things that like people on Twitter say that I
Yeah, it mostly
think is
happens on
annoying.
Twitter. It mostly happens on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something that would like legitimately.
But just
annoy me.
like
I'm not
the
sure.
imagery, whenever someone
Oh,
says
every
like,
time
it's
there's
like,
one.
whenever someone's like, a new game gets announced, they're like, oh, we about to be eaten. I'm like, can you die, please? Like,
That's really funny.
I hate it. I hate it.
Dude, Jamie, I thought I was in first for a second. Jamie's all the way up there, and he
Yeah,
of
it's
course
always
had a
it's always
horn.
one of the J's, except Jonathan. Never that J, who I just passed.
He had a horn, and he still has 3 bananas.
I wish I
He's
could
in
be that
first.
lucky in first.
Literally, how is this even possible?
Oh my goodness, I hate that
Why
turn.
is
I
fire
always take
traveling
it too.
backwards? Wait, I don't think that's a person.
I was shooting the fire backwards because there was no one in front of me at turns, so throwing it forwards would have been pointless.
Oh, okay.
And
I
I
was like,
like
it wasn't even close enough to hit me. I'm
I
just
was
like, why, though?
I was coming up on item boxes and I had to get rid of it. So like, what am I gonna do? You know?
Yeah, fair.
Ah!
Just when I get a
Going
blue shell
faster
that I
than,
can
like, 50
throw
miles
at
an hour.
Jamie.
White the game, please.
Why did I hit the car?
I actually, you almost saw me turn off my Switch Live on stream. I became big just in time to almost hit a banana.
Gosh,
Yeah, I did hit one of those bananas.
dude.
Why are there so many
Not
bananas
doing
on this
great.
course? Yo, John was slowing down Jamie, and then I killed John, and now I'm gaining on Jamie. This is the only way to beat them. You have to let the J's pick each other off, and then you pick
Yeah.
up the scraps. Oh, it's over, Jamie. I got 4 red shells. It's over, Jamie.
Oh, let's go. Let's save my life.
No!
Let's go!
I hate this game.
Who are these people using lightning? Who are?
Who are
It'd
they?
be me.
Like, name yourself.
man.
Michael, what
That's
did you
fucking
do?
I took the shortcut, but it kept throwing me into walls.
Oh, banana into second. Let's go.
No! Rinky, like, right at the
Alright,
last
alright.
second had a boost ahead of me.
Frank,
We're not
thank
gonna
you.
talk about how I got to 5th, but I got there.
Frank, thank you for subbing at tier 1. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Raptor, thank you for the gift sub to Jamie. Greatly appreciated, brother. How you been, Raptor? I feel like I haven't seen you in a hot minute. I don't have any friend requests, so I don't know if that person.
Yeah,
from
I
the
don't
chat was
think
gonna join
I don't think they ever even came over to your chat.
Oh, that's
I
fine.
don't see any. I didn't see any message from them.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how the long message was, but I was like, I left the link. They could have gotten the front over there, but they might not
Yeah,
be
you
here.
did your part. Flygon, thank
Yep.
you for the 169 bits. Greatly appreciated.
Yo, hi.
Very hype. Is there any room for one more in this lobby? We're probably gonna play for like
think
another
there
half hour.
is.
Is there actually space?
Is there? I thought there was because when
Yeah, I thought we
unless
did.
someone else joined since
Are we at
last
12
time,
or 11? There might be space.
No,
If
we're at
there's not,
11.
I'll-
We're at 11.
Oh, we're at 11. Yeah, add the friend code. Get in here. I was gonna say if we're not at 11, I'm sure there's someone
think we're
who's
at
been playing it
10,
for like
actually.
3 hours.
Yeah, we're at
Oh,
10.
somebody
Someone
just
else just
left. Now
left, so
we're
we're
at
at 9.
Oh, nice. This is what it's normally like
Yeah,
in streams.
yeah, we got plenty of space.
Yeah, so if anybody new wants to get
Ooh,
in,
a lot
get
of
in.
visitors, Raptor. That sounds rough, man. No war, dog. Anyone here ever played the Pikmin series?
No.
I played a little bit when I was a kid.
Tried.
And I played the they had a demo for Pikmin 3 that I tried, and I didn't really like it that much, so I was like, I'm not gonna play
I've never even seen what a Pikmin game looks like.
You wouldn't like them, I don't think.
It's like, I've
It
definitely
doesn't
seen
sound
it, but-
like a franchise that I would be interested in.
It's kind of like, I don't even know how to describe the game. It's kind of like an RTS, but like you manage time as well. Like it's a time management
Interesting.
RTS because you have like a
I need
certain amount of
to,
time,
man,
like, in
there's
a
so many
day.
games I want to play. I want to go play those other 2D Metroids and then eventually get to, whatchamacallit, to Metroid Prime. Yeah. I guess I
keep
need to,
hoping
like, I
that
guess I
they're
need
gonna
to
make-
buy the Wii U Trilogy one on the Wii U shop before it closes, because I looked online, and even
Yeah.
now, they're already worth, like, $100 a pop or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know when the Wii U shop is going to close. Do they? I know they closed the
2023
3DS
March.
shop.
2023.
2023 March, specifically, I
Mm.
believe.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
have to get that.
On Warriors Goldmine. I'm just trying to find any course that we haven't played.
Yeah, me too. Oh,
Any
you know
course that
what?
we haven't played that I don't hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, like, they're not going to take it down until March 2023, so I'm kind of just waiting to see if I get time to play Prime and buy it when I want to play it, but I will definitely be buying it at the end of the year if I haven't already played it. I think the credit card thing is off next Friday. I mean, you still got to be able to get money in there somehow.
I don't know.
Started playing Trails of Cold Steel, by the way. I liked it. I'd like to get to it one day if Trails in the Sky would ever work.
Oh yeah, Samus
Is
Returns on the 3DS.
Samus Returns
Oh,
not
yeah.
like a remake?
It's
Yeah,
a remake of
remake of
2,
two.
but you don't want to play 2 because 2 is on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Like original Game Boy. And it sucks.
What is 1?
1 is Zero Mission, which is also a remake.
Oh, they're remakes of 1 and 2, so people don't play
Yes.
1 and 2 anymore. They play Zero Mission
Yeah.
and Samus Returns.
Unless you're a freak,
Yeah.
because those games suck.
Unless you're a freak.
I think I have Samus
How many?
Returns.
There are only... Dread is the 5th game, right? There are only,
Yeah, there's only
4 of
4.
them for me to play?
Yep. And they're all pretty short.
I'd imagine so. Dread is the
Yeah.
most recent, and it was really short. Well, not really short, but...
It's probably the longest one out of all of them.
I would hope so. It's the most
Yeah.
recent, yeah.
Yeah, and also all the other ones are on like Game Boy Advance and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how long Game Boy Advance games can be, but especially that type.
Depends on the game.
Spoil my stuff.
Yeah, I do want to get to those at some point. I'm just
No.
like, there are so many games, old and new, that I've played or haven't played that I want to do again on the channel, and I just have no time in my life. I'm still shocked at how much content Forbidden West has.
Sounds like the game never ends.
I'm getting near the end. I know I'm near the end.
Oh, nice.
I'm definitely gonna go past part 200 though.
It's crazy.
Oh wow.
So it's gonna, Forbidden West is gonna be about as long as Persona 4 Golden was for me. Because I think Persona 4 Golden ended at like part 248. I estimate I'll be done with Forbidden West around like 230 to 250. Next stream will get me to part 200. And I'm not doing the next main mission. I'm 90% sure I have 2 main missions left in the game. There might be a 3rd one, but I know there has to at least be 2.
Yeah. Give me blue shell right at the end of the entire race.
Oh, I thought we had one more lap.
No. But yeah, anyway, with the
Oh, Zero Mission is on the Wii U? Nice. But the Samus Returns is only on DS?
Samus Returns is on 3DS.
3DS.
Oh, it's only on
3DS?
3DS?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I wish I could have just gotten it all on the Wii U.
Yeah.
What is Fusion?
Fusion is
Game Boy
GBA,
Advance.
but they're all on the Wii U eShop.
But like, what is it, like Metroid 3 or
GBA.
Metroid 4?
4.
Okay, and then
It
where's
goes
the
Zero
3rd
Mission, Samus Returns, Super Metroid, and then Fusion.
one? Yeah, I gotta play all 4 of those.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, with the exception of Prime, they're all really easy to emulate.
Yo, anyone who's streaming Forbidden West, unless they streamed it nothing but once it came out, no one who's streaming Forbidden West and is actually trying to do, like, all the content in the game is done with it. Like...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Plus, they're streaming it, like, every single day.
That's literally what I said at the start of my sentence.
Oh, I wasn't listening. I mean, Super you can play on the NSO, at the very least.
Oh my goodness, I can actually get use out of that system, that thing.
Yeah.
I just, like, it's nice that they have, like, old games as a thing, but, I mean, like, I'm not, like, an old game kind of guy, so, like,
Yeah.
having those for free on Nintendo Online is basically they don't exist, because I was never going to go out of my way to really play them anyways, except for that one Samus game, apparently. But,
If they put, like, GameCube games
there's a couple
on there,
games.
probably...
Oh,
Yeah, they'll start
GameCube
mixing up
games?
some other ones.
GameCube games would elevate Nintendo Online to being
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
If they
Although,
had GameCube
for
games
GameCube games, they'd probably be charging $100.
yeah,
yeah,
I was
they'd
like, they're
probably
already
charge-
charging,
They're
like,
already
50,
charging, what,
60 for that.
$70 for...
Yeah.
Or is it 50?
I don't know if it's 50 total, if it's 50 on top of. I don't know.
I think it's
I don't
50
remember the
total,
price.
and then 70 is for the family pass.
All I know is that I
That's-
was like, that's way too much for an easier way to play Ocarina of Time and nothing else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Man, Nintendo, like, I really am... I'm just shocked at the amount of people that, like, love and defend Nintendo.
yeah.
And the thing is like, people say, it's like, oh, well, it's probably just they grew up with it and stuff. I grew up with Nintendo! I also grew
Yeah, I
up with
mean-
PlayStation, but I definitely grew up more with Nintendo than I did Sony. Undoubtedly. The only thing I grew up with Sony about was I had a PlayStation 2 and I played Sly Cooper nonstop. Other than that, all of my childhood was like games on the DS or Nintendo at large.
You didn't play Kingdom Hearts when you were a kid?
I did play Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2, but I didn't like own them, I rented them. So like I wasn't like big into Kingdom Hearts. And then most of the Kingdom Hearts game, like the spin-offs, were on Nintendo consoles.
True.
Like Cage 1 and 2 were PlayStation. And then Birth by Sleep was PSP, which I did buy a PSP specifically for, but that was in like 2010, so I was 15. And then Chain of Memories was on Game Boy Advance, but I got it on I got the remake on
Imagine playing
PS2.
that game on GBA.
No, well, it's a completely
crazy.
different game. It plays completely differently.
Yeah, I
But then, like, 358 over 2 days, Dream Drop Distance, DS, 3DS, Recoded was DS. That, like, back before all of the collections came out on PlayStation, like, almost half of Kingdom Hearts games were on Nintendo consoles exclusively. So even with Kingdom Hearts, I played a lot of Nintendo stuff. But, like, I just can't imagine, like, not being a moron and seeing that Nintendo really screws over their fan base, like, more than most other companies do. I don't know. And at the end of the day, I just really, like... Sly, I'm kind of, like, more on your pack where, like, I don't use a lot of the games that Sony gives me for free. But, like, Sony gives out, like, good games and stuff.
It's the thought
like,
that counts, really.
looking, if you just look at it objectively, it's like, yeah, this is worth $60 a year, even if I specifically don't get a ton of use out of it.
That's fair.
But
yeah,
I do definitely, I mean, out of the year where they released, like, what was it, 36 free games, I really only download, like, 3 or 4 of them. A lot of times, though, also to be fair, a lot of times, like with Shadow of the Colossus, they put out a game that I bought already, because I wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of times it's just a matter of like, oh, well, if I had just waited, I would have gotten it for free, but I don't like to
Yeah,
wait.
that's happened a few times.
So, like, objectively looking at it, it's a very fair and worth its price thing. Nintendo Online does not feel like that, even though it's a third of the price.
Yeah, I think the only time I ever played any of the NSO games, like, and beat them was the one time I used it for Super Metroid. What was that?
Yeah, I never played
So
through like
definitely not
PA,
getting
but
my
I've
money's
definitely,
worth.
I've definitely gone on. and
Also,
played a few games.
another thing I love about Sony, and someone correct me on this if I'm wrong, because I actually don't know because I've never tested it, because I've never stopped my Sony Online thing. I've just always renew it every February. You can download, you can put the games, you don't even have to download them, I don't think. You can put the games into your library when they're free and then just not touch them until you want to play them.
I think
and
that is true.
I don't know for sure, but if you stop your online account, as long as it was added to your librry, don't you still just have it?
No, you still need the
you
need to have the online?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you could keep
renewed
it.
Even then, it's still really good.
Yeah, it's like that's very unfortunate because there are a few games that I've gotten through that. I'm just like, I have to have this if I want to play this game. But it's still, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That's fair. I wasn't sure how it worked either way. But even if it is like you have to have your account active, like you're spending the $60 a year, you can just even if you don't think you'll want the game, you can just see like, oh, the 3 free games, I'm just gonna throw those in my library real quick. Maybe a year from now I'll want to play it for some reason.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Because it's not like you lose them when you unsubscribe or whatever.
No, you don't lose them.
No.
Yeah,
you can just come back whenever you want.
I
Yeah, but
definitely
you need to be
I don't
playing.
take advantage of that, and I should, because if I did every month just put them in my library, I wouldn't have had to spend $20 on Enter the Gungeon.
Nice.
So I wish I had done it. I would have saved $20, but I mean that was 100% on me. I should just be every month hitting add to library. Like,
That's
what
how
do I
they
lose?
get you. FOMO.
What?
Fear of missing
Missing
out.
out.
Oh, I've never heard of that before. As like an
Like a
acronym.
business term, I think.
Oh.
I was in like third the whole time. Why?
Yeah, why were you in third? Play worse.
I was.
I
not.
did.
I was in second actually for a while. Then I got all the way down to like 7th or 8th.
The expansion pass thing is stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very dumb. The only way it becomes not like a money-grabbing stupid thing is if like 4 games a year come out with DLC that is included in it. And even then, it's still really stupid because it has to be 4 games that you care about.
Yeah, I mean, I think so far they've been pretty good about adding new DLC things to it. Because I know this one counts, New Horizons does, and I'm pretty sure there was at least one other one recently.
I only care about one of them.
Counted. Hold on, I'm actually gonna look. Expansion pack DLCs. Pretty sure there was another one.
The only way I would ever give Nintendo more money for their online service is if, first of all, they gave me no other option, or second of all, they put GameCube games on it.
Yeah, I definitely reconsider for GameCube games. Potentially.
Depends on how much it would cost.
Actually,
honestly, like, I don't know if I would, because it is really easy to
Emulate.
emulate them.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I really don't need to. I have Dolphin.
It's like, wait, what GameCube games do I not have access to that I would want to play?
Yeah, especially since with the Dolphin, I
depends.
have a USB GameCube controller, so like, I'm set. And I actually like it, because I actually like it.
Yeah, I love the GameCube controller.
They really do just need to adopt Sony's thing where they give out some games that are a couple of years old like every month for free. But also, Nintendo games never drop in price, so why would they do that?
I mean, what they should
I want to make it clear
do.
before anyone shows up in the comments like, oh, never explain this the 1 week out of 2020 where Breath of the Wild was $40 for that 1 week instead of 60. Yeah, I know, very rarely they go on sale, but
sometimes they go on sale.
It's very stupid compared to every other game in the industry.
You know what? I feel like they used to do that though. Is like do like what was it, Nintendo Selects or whatever, and like sell like a game for like $20 instead. And I feel like they haven't done that in like forever.
They realized how much money they were losing when people would just spend $60 anyway.
But what they really ought to do is like with like NSO or whatever, give you like a game for free that they're like adding DLC for, so that way they get you in the door that you might otherwise not have like gotten, and then you're like, oh well, now that I've got this, I should buy the DLC.
Yeah.
If you haven't gotten Mario Kart yet, like this DLC is not going to change it, but if you're about to get Mario Kart free, then maybe you'll actually buy the DLC too.
The ghost protects you from lightning?
The ghost protects you
Does,
from
yes.
everything.
I didn't know that.
Very nice.
I was today's years old.
Wow.
No.
Yo, this is the new guy we just added in. We got a ringer.
It's too good. I love
Not
it when
good
you
enough
watch
to avoid a
someone-
blue shell on the last turn.
I love it when you watch someone drive through the item box you were gonna get, but Nintendo lags and they don't steal it
Yeah,
from
that's
you.
the best. It actually does make me mad at times, though, because I avoid a double box because I'm like, they're gonna get it. And then Nintendo
Yeah.
is like, nah, you could have had it. And I'm like, I hate you. John!
He's too good.
It's always John, man. Always John.
Iggy was doing really well. Look at how many of like real people Iggy was ahead of.
Lone Wolf is like, let's not. Let's not take
Don't
notice
try
of that.
Yeah, no.
Don't remind me about Iggy. Either this will be the last one for me or the one after it. Either this
we gotta
round of
see.
4 or the next round of 4. We'll be about 4 hours then.
We gotta
Getting
see how
pretty
it
hungry.
goes.
Yeah.
See
Yeah,
how
I'm
mad I
getting
get.
hungry.
My voice is starting to hurt. I've shouted too much.
Okay, is there anything that I really want to play that we have not?
What do I even have to eat? I need to go get groceries.
Feel that.
Don't think so.
Oh, I think I'm having ramen tonight.
Nice.
What do you like, Naruto or something?
Yeah. Nice.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. I feel like it's got to happen at some point. I feel like after the pandemic happened and they had so much trouble with launching the PlayStation 5 and whatnot, I think it is definitely on Sony's radar to get some PS3 titles coming to more modern age.
Yeah, I can see that.
I thought I remembered seeing that they were going to put PS3 titles on the store. I don't remember if that was a lie or what.
What I'm about to say could be completely wrong. I vaguely remember something like this from a while back. I had seen something online where people were saying, like, the PlayStation 3 was made very strangely when it comes to games, and therefore porting them is not a simple task.
Interesting.
Which is part of the reason why it's been such a hassle for, like, PS3 games basically being non-existent unless you own a PlayStation 3.
It's because they had to put the Blu-ray in the PS3. They're not games, they're all just Blu-rays. You're playing a movie.
Did you play Blu-rays on PS2?
No.
You said PS3.
I thought that the PS2 could also do Blu-rays.
No.
Oh, could it not? I thought it
I
could.
PS2 was the first
I
one
don't
that
know
could
if
even do
PS2 existed when Blu-rays were in
When
that.
did Blu-rays become a thing?
Like, I don't know, like 2006?
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
they were like
2005,
2000.
No. It
I'm
might
gonna
have
be
like,
honest.
It might have been one of those
I'm gonna be
things where they were
honest. I don't
inventing-
even know what
they were
the
definitely
difference
not.
between like a Blu-ray and a normal movie disc is. So.
Oh, I still don't know either.
Okay,
I'm pretty
cool.
sure they're just higher quality somehow.
Literally,
Alright.
when Blu-ray came out, I was like, "There's no way that like that everything's just going to be like Blu-ray from now on." And like after all this time, it's just like that is
They're
it's
there,
comic.
sure.
They still sell it as DVDs, or you'll get like a combo of both for whatever that means.
All right.
That was the last lap.
Well, anyways,
Oh, it
I'm pretty
was.
sure there's something weird about PS3 games, but I think like bringing PS3 games to PlayStation 5 specifically is like on the radar for the future. But they're probably too worried about the fact that they can't make
That
enough
would be cool.
PS5s.
Yeah.
Oh no, Blu-rays actually came out in 2003.
PlayStation 3s have a different architecture called Cell. The PlayStation 4 and 5 both use x86, the same thing that you use for computers.
Interesting. You know what? This one's pretty good.
So there's something weird about the PS3's architecture that makes it hard to just port them over. But I think some kind of mostly digital port over is going to happen for the PS5 at some point in its life cycle. To just have like a mass... I bet they're probably holding it for the middle of the PS5's life cycle to be like, this will be a good breath of life, people who want to play PS3 games. I also think there's a really... we were talking about it with Spectrobes a bit ago. I think there's a really nice window of when you know games came out when people were 12 to 16 to wait until those people are approaching their 30s to re-release them in some fashion. I think there's a mathematical formula that game developers know of for that age range to be like, this is when people are willing and able to spend money to get to relive those things, not from when they were a little kid, but from when they were like teenagers.
Yeah.
John is like probably actually hacking. There's no way he Nintendo lagged out of that red shell. I saw him. He had only a mushroom in his hands. There's no way.
There's no way, man. There's no way.
There's literally no way, because there weren't even double item boxes before that point. He could not have had enough time.
You should start streaming so you can look back at the footage and ascertain.
Yeah. I should have like saved a video of that.
No, where's the Nintendo lag on that one? I hate being in 10th and missing an item box, and then I know when I get an item box anyway, it's just gonna be like, hey, here's some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, the game gave me a bullet bill because they knew I was calling them out on their crap. Let's go. Bye, Sly.
Bye.
Oh, why did that bullet... My bullet build got me from 11th to 9th and let me out next to a star person who hit me back into 11th.
Nice. Wow.
Even when... And then in 11th, I got 3 mushrooms and a mushroom.
Piranha Plant in 3rd.
I don't want to hear
at least
it right
it kind of
now.
helped me.
No, why do bombs always hit me? Why?
Bombs are weird.
That was awful.
I'm so bad with bombs. Either they find a way to hit me or I find a way to hit them.
Regular Peach got first place there. What?
Wait, the AI?
Like AI Peach was in first for like the whole last lap.
Kicked all of our fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I came in and just curb stomped us.
Oh, that was awful.
Freaking Dawn of the AI.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it was so easy to move GameCube upwards to Wii and Wii U. They all use the same architecture. That makes sense.
Pretty sure, like, wasn't it, like, I think I remember hearing that a Wii was almost identical to a GameCube. Just very slightly more powerful.
There are a lot of PS3 games on PS Now already. Ooh, aren't they, like, trying to... Wasn't there something about PS Now, like, merging with, like, normal whatever?
Because, like, who uses... PS Now is, like, the, like, cloud gaming, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Who uses that thing? Cloud gaming sucks.
Yeah,
yeah, cloud gaming does blow.
I don't know what it's priced at now, but I know when I first heard about it, it was like way more pricey than it was worth for like the games that they offered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember looking at it because like when I first got like a PS4, it comes with like, oh, here's this service, and I'm like, oh, what's this? So like I looked it up and I was like, they're asking for way too much money for what they're offering.
Yeah. Plus the only time I ever
Chad
saw...
is saying PS Now doesn't have any of the Tales of games, which is what I mostly care about on the PlayStation 3. So.
The only reason that I might get PlayStation Now is I would do it for a limited time just to play the Sly Cooper games. That's it.
You don't own those?
Not in like a good playable way. That would make
he
it
probably
the easiest
has
way to
them
play
for the
before.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I think I have the first one on the PS2, and then I think I have the collection for the PS3.
I still
That way I have a
have
good
my
way to play the
PS2
PS3.
versions, but I have the PS3 collection. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the PS3 collection, but I'd have to do like the.
Yeah, wait a minute.
whatever.
If you get the PS Now thing and play the Sly Cooper games, do they have a separate PS4 trophy list asking for a friend?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because if so, I will get PS Now literally long enough to platinum all 4 of those games again.
The only...
I don't know, do PS Now even have trophies? Is that
I don't know, dude. Look,
no.
I'm coming
not.
up. I'm coming up on 50 platinum trophies. 4 Sly Cooper trophies would go a long way.
The only time I ever saw anyone use PS Now, it like hardly functioned
Sly!
at all, so it's probably
I
not
saw
worth
them
it.
first.
Ouch.
Ouchie, ouch.
Oh, I really wanted that to be the last lap because I'm actually in a good spot.
Same.
Now there's time for me to ruin it.
Someone in chat confirm or not if Sly Cooper is on PS Now, and also if they have a separate trophy list from the PS3 versions of the game.
Like,
Because if they're on
gosh,
PS, if they're on PS Now as separate entries instead of the collection, then surely it has a different trophy list, right?
they are definitely on a separate entry.
Sly 4 might not have a separate trophy list, but Sly 1, 2, and 3
Oh.
should.
Well,
Wasn't
no
Sly,
catching up
Sly 4
now.
was like they had a PS4 version. Or
No, I
was
think it's
it
PS3 along with the collection.
PS3? Oh, okay, I don't remember.
They did the collection because the game was coming out. It wouldn't make sense for them to be on different consoles. There might be a PS4 version. I don't think there is, but there's. It's definitely. It was PS3 first.
What? Lone Wolf.
Hey.
There's
my
not. No. Re-release them on the PS5 so I can get my trophies. They might actually, because of those Sly 5 rumors. I hope.
That would be
How
cool.
am I still in second place overall after getting like nearly last?
Everybody else is doing bad.
I guess so.
Today has been a weird Mario Kart day.
Too
Far
rusty.
too much lightning.
Yeah.
Frying Lone Wolf's brains.
What brains?
Clearly the audio is too loud. You need to turn it down, Lone Wolf.
He's overloaded.
Alright, we're going back to Paris, boys! To Paris.
Is this the last one of this set?
I think so.
Huh?
No,
Oh, wait, no,
well,
32.
I don't know.
No, it has
Unless
to
we've
be.
all
You
been
can't.
really-
You can't get above 30 unless there's been 3 races. Yeah, it says final right there. It's first place is 15, so if you got 15 twice, you'd be at 30.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This has been a really spread out game. If Michael
Yeah.
is highest by the third one at 32, like whoever
Well, no, I
has
think
been
there was
in the,
someone like 1 point ahead of me.
Oh, is there a 33? Even then, to have no one in the
Something.
40s after the third game, there's normally one person
Ouch.
who consistently gets like top 3 and would be around 40 or
Yeah.
39. Yeah, we were already talking about Super Sluggers earlier. Wildcat. I'm gonna do the story mode of that game on the channel at some point.
No!
Now, you know what would get me to pay extra?
If you hadn't bumped me, that wouldn't have happened.
I didn't know you were there. When I hit you.
What
Boomerang
would
at
get me
you.
to pay extra for NSO, even though I'd have to use Joy-Cons for it probably, is if they put Wii games on there, because you cannot
Oh,
really
this isn't-
easily
okay.
emulate Wii games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, very much. Absolutely. Although, what Wii games are you looking to play other than Galaxy 2 now that Skyward Sword has a port?
I'd have to look at like what all there
Good
is.
talk, good talk.
I do like, I like Super Mario, Paper Mario. I would probably replay that if they put it on there. But then again, I feel like that's probably one of the easiest Wii games to emulate because it barely uses motion controls.
It would be really nice if they had some kind of like equivalent to like what Steam has with Remote Play as well.
Yeah,
Wii Remote Play, that would be amazing on the Switch. I would give Nintendo a lot of money for that. That's the one way they can beat emulators, or it would have been a couple of years ago until Parsec came out, is to be like, hey, look, you can play online with your friends, because obviously we made a lot of these games for like multiplayer. A lot of people complain nowadays about like how games have trended and they don't do stuff they used to do, and I'm normally like, you're a little ridiculous. The one thing games have trended away from that upsets me is multiplayer.
Yeah.
yeah. There's not a whole
You
lot of like,
either
good, like, couch co-op
make
Like local
games.
you
multiplayer.
either make a game that is 100% only for multiplayer, or you make a game that is like 100% for single player. And that's not how
Yeah.
it used to be. It used to be there would be like single player games that would also be like, oh look, there's an option for multiplayer.
Yeah, there's also some multiplayer games that are like kind of hard to like do multiplayer with.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of negative. I had a lot of negative experiences trying to do local multiplayer with like certain Xbox games or like PS like 4 games. That's just like it's just like not set up well for local multiplayer, and it has to go through a hassle because like, oh, you need to sign in your account, and then if you don't, it's just like
You can play all the Sly Cooper games on the RPCS3 now. I assume that's an emulator. I own the
yeah.
PlayStation 3. Also, the only reason I really want to replay them again is for trophies. I was wanting to know if I could get more trophies. Yeah, Spectrum's Origins is exactly what I was thinking of. I would love to be able to co-op that.
That'd be great.
I could probably do one
on
more
the
full
note
race
of-
if you guys want to. We're a little under
Yeah,
4
I'd be down
hours.
for.
Sure.
I'd be
You
down
want to do
for
mirror mode?
one more.
Yeah, we can do a mirror to wrap up. Let's do it.
Speaking of games that like, I mean, I know we're talking about like games that don't have that are not, or they're either strictly single player or multiplayer. Overwatch, like, has such an interesting story. Like they keep like throwing so much into it, but they make it PvP. And I'm
Single-player
so
mode would have
mad.
went a long way, I think, for me.
Yeah, like having a story mode. Like you've seen like
I
the
think that's
movies
what they're
they made for
doing
it.
kind of in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, but Overwatch 2
Does Overwatch 2
design
exist? Does it
sucks.
actually exist?
Also,
Exactly.
yes, does it
It's
actually
like, even if
exist?
they do, like, Overwatch 2 is like, it's like a joke, right? Like, obviously
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's just
And
what it is.
it'll make money, but like, Overwatch 2 is like way too little, way too late.
Yeah, way too
Also,
late.
I heard in Overwatch 2, in Overwatch, you play 6v6 matches, right? And that's
Yeah.
how it's been for years, and now it's 5v5?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
people
really?
who like Overwatch have, like, surely made groups of exactly 6 people where they now have to
Yeah.
tell one of their friends, like, you can't
And
play with
the
us
thing
anymore.
that sucks the most about it is that like now like your roles have been set. So they're cutting one of the tank roles. So if you're like in a group with your friends, even if you don't have a full 6, but 2 of them play like only tank, it's like, all right, well now I guess someone needs to figure out something else to play.
That sucks.
Absolutely the best mirror mode map you could have picked.
Oh my gosh.
I love Excitebike, but this is like the one mode where I'm like, yeah, it's fair if you don't pick Excitebike.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be.
It's like this is literally just Excitebike 150cc. There is no difference.
But this time you turn left.
Yeah, you have to turn to the left this time.
It's way different.
At least the music is still amazing.
How'd you get up here so fast again? I sniped Jamie from midair.
The War Dog. I love No War Dog's name because the... how did I get hit there? The D in dog is not capitalized, so it doesn't seem like a full name. It's just No War, dog. Syra, what are you doing all the way back here?
What do you mean? I live back here.
Oh, Jenny, you
Do it. Call her a bad name. Do it. You know you want to.
Nah, I
Do what
don't
I mean,
know
do
monetize YouTube videos.
Oh, I didn't mean a word that bad. Nice mid-air explosion there, Jamie.
What the heck? What the heck? Okay, everything's fine now.
No.
No.
Bam, 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 bam.
Ow,
my gosh.
darn it.
I hate that there is such a mob behind me.
Nah.
Wow, that fireball almost got me right there. Oh no, I messed it up and screwed up my drift slightly. Oh, that's not good. I lost way too much speed there. How did I not get past? Whew, thank you. Banana just in time. Not me, not me. Dang it! Always at the very end. Small chance of a comeback.
No.
Gave me no good items. Wow, that range was way bigger than I thought it
Wow. Oh, yes.
would be. No, Jet.
Well, with that bomb.
First to 8th, how nice.
Anyone else is hating Michael?
Dang. Hey, it wasn't my bomb. I'm just glad it got you.
Oh yeah, right. Anybody else is hate Michael?
Always.
Always.
Yeah, Spectrum's Origins co-op was really fun. I forced my sister to play it with me sometimes. It had really good co-op. The best part was where to do the special attack because of the Wiimote nunchuck thing, you had to do the fusion dance with your partner. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. Bum, 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 bum.
All.
Winter.
Mhm.
I wasn't looking at screen. I didn't know Animal Crossing got picked. Come on, Winter. I love snow.
Maybe spring again.
Winter!
Spring again. Wow. Nope, I was
Autumn.
This
right.
is summer.
Autumn,
This is
autumn.
summer. Or no, is it fall?
No, this is definitely fall. Look at
Yeah,
fall.
this is fall. Yeah, this is fall. I was only half looking at screen. I was looking at chat.
Fair.
To be fair, the
Saw
last
some
thing that was
red.
said in chat was summer, so.
Nice.
Ow.
Why do I feel like I can take the initial turn in this map better in mirror mode than normal? That went so
kinda forgot it
smooth
was
compared to
there for a
earlier.
second.
You missed everything. Feel me?
Just what I want in second. That coin.
Michael,
You deserved it. You earned it.
one day I'll be free of you. How
No,
did that
banana.
hit me?
Don't kid yourself, Mario Kart. You're only setting yourself up for disappointment.
Every day where I get in call. Yo, we finished season 2 of Food Wars. Very excited for season 3.
Me too.
Cannot wait. Why do I feel like every time I play Mario Kart, someone asks this pancake or waffles question?
Maybe it just brings out something in people.
I don't like the way you said that.
Why do I keep doing that?
Get out of here, Rossetti. I still hate you because of Brawl.
Ow.
The city used to scare me when I played Animal Crossing on the GameCube. Because he'd yell at you.
Being yelled at is scary.
It's
Yeah,
because it's
especially when you're
Flygon
a kid.
every time. Waffles and pancakes are equal in terms of taste. The only difference is how much syrup do you want to taste in a bite. More syrup,
Yeah.
waffles. Less syrup, pancakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was the best. Oh no! Oh, I should have thrown
The
my.
best oh no of my life.
I didn't know he was gonna have a horn. I should have thrown my
Bullet bill
red
go
shot
faster.
sooner.
My bullet bill didn't go fast enough.
Dang.
Is it me every time? It might also be Karma. Yeah, I think Karma asked that question too. I don't eat breakfast, but I love breakfast food.
Yeah, I
eat breakfast, but I don't
rarely
usually
eat
eat
breakfast
food for
nowadays.
breakfast that often.
I have actually been, since I've been waking up earlier, I usually do have like brunch at like 10:30, 11, and I'll have like eggs, bacon, and toast. And then I'll have like an actual lunch at like 2. It lets me have my lunch right before stream instead of like 2 hours before stream,
Nice.
which is really nice. And then by the time I'm done streaming, I'm really hungry again, so I eat.
Yeah, I don't really eat breakfast much anymore. I only ever eat breakfast foods if I'm like going somewhere with someone, like to like a restaurant.
I eat breakfast, but it needs to be something like quick and convenient. So like my sort of breakfast food would be like a Pop-Tart or like cereal or like
Nice.
just some sort of like snack. Something that I can just like make easily.
Ba-da-bam-ba-bam-bow. I have pancake mix downstairs. Maybe I should make pancakes. I don't think I've ever... I bought pancake mix like 2 grocery visits ago because I was like, I like pancakes. And then I realized I've never made a pancake. So I'm worried that I'm gonna like ruin it.
It's it's not that hard as long
That's
as
what
you...
everyone says, but then I'm
But
like...
that makes it worse. That it's
Yeah.
just like if you do mess it up, then you're really stupid.
Yeah, then it's like, everyone says like, oh, it's really simple. So if I attempt and fail, then what am I gonna do? Call my grandmother and be like, hey, I'm a moron and made pancakes wrong. Can you run me through it again?
I feel that.
As long as you don't
so
let them
much.
burn, I feel like it's fine.
Fun.
Yeah, I
What?
like music park.
I was saying the course was fun.
No, I couldn't hear you. Mid-tier. It's not bad. It's not one of my
Oh
favorites.
my gosh.
This map
Love getting
sucks.
lightning right
I
before I'm
hate
about to-
everything. I wanna die.
I was gonna take the fun shortcut on this map and then
Oh yeah, that's why this map is so mid-tier. The shortcut is awful.
I like this shortcut.
No, I hate it because it's so like weird.
I just gotta get the angle right.
It's a very weird angle. Wow.
Well, that hit like
how did
5
So
people.
many people.
how did that should not have affected me.
Yeah, you were like way ahead of them on my screen at least. I don't know how that happened.
I was using a mushroom and I came up on it as the explosion faded, but the explosion was like gone right when I got to it.
Blew himself up with his bomb.
Listen, he's having a hard time.
I've been there.
We know, Slide. We know. That was weird.
Oh, that shortcut.
Oh my gosh! And again, this time I get hit with something, so I can't take the shortcut.
It's not a good shortcut.
It's actually a really good shortcut.
It doesn't look like it
In
was
terms of time,
yeah,
one, yes, but
fine.
in terms of using it, not.
I like it.
Slyro, do you take the shortcut ever?
No.
Okay, then you don't realize how weird the
think-
angle is.
Yeah, well, I
don't
saw
even
the
know
angle
if
and I'm just
Slide
like, I
knew
feel
it was
like I'd have to slow down so much just to like get the angle.
You just have to like be prepared for it. You have to like do an early drift.
Unless you do it very right, you're gonna go into the grass
My
anyway.
God!
Yeah, I mean
Is
you
that
usually have
twice
to
on
have
this
like
map?
a mushroom with you.
Yep.
I think it was
So many mushrooms just laying right there.
because of all the lightning. Everybody's losing their items.
How did I end up
So
in
good.
fourth? I was
Working
way
that up.
further back than this. Lone Wolf, I'm not sorry. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Oh, I almost got in second because of the shortcut. I'll take third.
That is a very weird shortcut. I just took it.
It is pretty
It's very
weird.
strange.
Do I want to eat pancakes tonight? I have plenty of syrup.
You're making me want pancakes now, so
Come
please
on
stop
over.
talking
Come
about
on
it.
over. The only thing is if I screw it up, then that means I'm gonna have to wait even longer to make something good. But I don't have, like, many other options. I guess my only other option is corn dogs, but I had corn dogs for lunch.
What else is like a good course that we haven't played?
I think we played, like, all the good ones, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm picking Wario Stadium because I feel like that's the best that we
Yeah,
haven't
we
played,
haven't.
but
Yeah, we haven't. Played
even
that
that's
one
like,
yet.
it's good, but it's probably
too.
still mid-tier.
No, I don't like pancakes having anything else to them other than being a pancake.
No,
I don't
if I'm
like
really
them
craving
mo-
chocolate, maybe a chocolate chip pancake, but like for the most
I'm
part,
very
no.
much like. I was the kid who was like, if my peas touch my mashed potatoes, I don't want either of them. I don't like.
I'm
I don't
surprised
like
you wouldn't even
mixing-
eat peas.
I don't. Well, I was forced to as a child because I was a child.
Nice.
But I just like. I don't like meshing most foods. There are exceptions, but like 9 times out of 10, I'm just like, the food can either stand on its own or I don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff that I wouldn't want to eat together, but like if I had to like scrape a little bit of mashed potato off of my peas, I would be like, all right.
Well, no, that was when I was a child. That was an example of like what it led into. If
Alright.
my food touches food, then I'm like, I'm an adult. I'll eat it. But I mean like foods that are specifically like blueberry pancakes or something like that. I'm like, no, I just want pancakes. That being said, I've never had a normal muffin, but blueberry muffins are the normal ones in my world.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know if you
kind
can
of
have a normal muffin. That sounds.
I don't.
That
Yeah, I don't
sounds
know
awful,
what
right?
flavor would normal muffin be.
Muffin flavor.
Nah, I'm pretty sure that's against the law.
Yeah, so like
be a
blueberry
good
muffins are the
pumpkin
default
muffin.
there. But like anything that you eat that isn't like
I'm pulling
meant
over,
like
dog, I'm
made
so
from
sorry.
default, like blueberry muffins where it's like it's always like a combined thing, I'm like, no, I don't really want to mess with it. I don't want to add anything else. I just want to have the thing that I like. What nice blue shell timing. I want to die.
Awful.
It's no longer nice.
feel
And
like
there's a
Jet
bullet
is,
bill
like,
behind me, and I'm in
always-
second.
Yeah, it was Jet.
Of course it was Jet.
Jet,
Can I stop
I'm
being
gonna
small,
bite you.
please? Thank you.
I'm gonna
Did you
bite
just say you're gonna bite her?
I
into
bit
that.
you
What
instead.
happened? Okay,
Whoa,
wait.
whoa,
Get your
whoa.
own call.
Hey, he was the one that said he was gonna bite me.
Yeah, but you're the one that
Well,
made
it
it
wasn't
weird.
gonna be in a fun way.
You're the one that made it weird, though. Let's go!
No.
That was great.
Nice. Oh my
How did
gosh.
that happen?
I'm glad
No, he-
that I hit Jamie, but I'm not glad that it helped you.
It
And
helped
Lone
Wolf,
Wolf.
too. Nice. Oh, that was great.
No,
Michael, that let
I'm
me
in third
beat
because
you.
of that.
Let's
No.
go.
Oh my gosh.
That was
Your
amazing.
bomb hit you because I threw a red shell at it.
Oh, man. Hey, right? Just 10 minutes over 4 hours. Not bad. I don't know how this ended up on YouTube in terms of breaking it up. I probably broke it into, like, a couple of hour parts or something. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe we'll do some more Mario Kart here and there. If nothing else, when the next wave of DLC drops, we will, oh, you're sitting in my throat. We'll get to it. But, yeah, good stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out Sly in the description, and check out my Twitch channel if you want to watch live. Otherwise, we'll catch you later. Till then, farewell.